Hello, hello, my friends. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I thought I'd get on just for a short teaching on today. If you're joining live or you watch the replay, my name is Dr. Deborah, and I am your Kingdom Word Cultivator. I like to help writers get unstuck. Some the three things we focus in on in this particular, the Writers in Court International, is we focus on spirituality, creativity, and the written word. So you're going to see a lot of things where I go between, teachings on the Word of God or maybe showing something creative, the creative side of the Writers in Court International. And of course, everything is going to be based on the written word. The written word, the written word, the written word. It is such a powerful force in the earth. Anyway, I want to talk to you today about overcoming or how to conquer overthinking. How to conquer overthinking. I'm going to tell you, I am probably the biggest overthinker there is. I am such a overthinker, and I think it has something to do with the writing space, and it has something to do with entrepreneurship, and it just has something to do with life. So if you are an overthinker, this message is for you. I have my little notes here, so I'm going to be, if you see me looking over here, it's because I'm looking at my notes. I want to make sure that I capture everything and share with you what you need to know about overthinking. First of all, let me tell you, when you overthink, it sits in your head. It just sits there, and it's a repeated thing, and it goes over and over and over again. It hinders you because you're not doing the thing that you're thinking about. It is so draining. It can drain the life out of you when you are overthinking, when you know you need to do something and you're not doing it because you are thinking about it. Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I pack this? Should I go here? Should I go there? It's just too much. Stop the insanity. It hinders you from making decisions when you overthink. When you overthink, you cannot make proper decisions. It is so true. Let me tell you, I know when I had the opportunity to travel to Brazil, when they gave me the opportunity and they presented it to me, I just immediately said yes. I didn't think about the details. But then once I said yes, I started asking the questions. When are we going? What do we need? How do I go about getting my passport? I thought about all those various things that come with the process of planning for a trip out of the country. But if I was an overthinker, I probably would have asked the questions before making the decision. What you want to do in regards to overthinking? So one, it's draining. It can drain your energy because you're repeating that process over and over and over again. Perhaps you want to write a book, but you haven't written a book because you're thinking about, how do I do this? What is this going to be about? What about this? What about that? And before you know it, you haven't done anything. So it puts you in this repetitive cycle and it drains your energy. So I want to give you some tips in how you can conquer overthinking. Being a chronic overthinker and I still work on it every day because one, I kind of like to think, I like to analyze, but if I'm not doing and producing the way I need to, it defeats the purpose of anything. If I want to write a book, it defeats the purpose if I am not producing the written words that's needed to write the book. So, one, the first tip is you want to be aware. Be aware that you're overthinking. Sometimes you'll get little migraines. Sometimes you'll find that you're not doing anything. Sometimes you'll look up and 1 minute is 8 o'clock and the next minute it is 3 o'clock. And you're like, where did the time go? So be aware of it. When you are aware that you're overthinking, you can silence the lambs, the voices that's in your head. You can silence them. And I'm going to tell you one way you can silence them is one, you want to think about maybe take a walk, do something physical, take a walk, exercise, think about washing dishes, clean your house, fold clothes, wash clothes, do something outside of that, because overthinking means you're not acting, you're not doing what you need to do. So you want to stop that overthinking by doing something. Exercise is a great way to do it. Taking a nice walk, gardening, if you like to garden, do something different outside of thinking. The next thing you want to do is write it out. This has been my lifesaver. I promise you. I write down every night the things I need to do for the next day. I write down, if I don't do it at night, I'll do it the next morning, first thing, because I'm getting it out of my head. I'm clearing out that space so that I can free it up to do the things that I need to do. And it, to me, when I write the list, some people don't like to write lists, but when I write the list, I can physically see that I'm getting it done. And if I don't do it today, I'll transfer it to the next day. And that's why sometimes you don't get things done, because it's still in your head. It's nagging at you. The next thing you want to do is talk it out. If you don't have someone you can share your thoughts with, or your concerns with, or what you're planning to do, get a recorder. Record yourself. Some people talk to themselves. You know, you've seen those people where they're sitting around and they're talking to themselves. Well, guess what? They're getting it out of their head. And hopefully they're not talking something outside of something positive, you know. So you don't want to be caught too much thinking or talking to yourself. It just kind of looks a little, you know, but it's okay to talk to yourself as long as you're being productive with it. I know for most females, they tend to have to talk things out. We talk it out. We talk it out. And sometimes we don't want a solution to it. We just want to talk it out because we'll find our own solutions as in the talking process. So it's good to have a listening ear. Recording is good. Do a recording of what you're saying, because sometimes you come up with an idea or a solution to your problem or your concern as you're talking it out, and you want to be able to capture it. The next thing you want to do is actually do the thing that is bothering you. If you know that you need another job, do the thing that you need to do. Fill out the applications, update your resume, find someone to help you update your resume. Get a cover letter. Do all the things that you need to do. If you are interested in writing a book, sit down and think about who is your target audience? What do you want to write about? Is this something that's going to be beneficial to others? This is how you go about getting unstuck. So just to reset, I'm Dr. Deborah, and today's topic is about how to conquer overthinking. Overthinking is draining. Overthinking causes you to repeat over and over again the thing that's in your head. You know, when I think about overthinking, it's like when you had a conversation with a colleague and the colleague said something to you that just kind of irked at you, and instead of you maybe confronting it, maybe you didn't think about it until later. You're like, they had the nerve to say this. What you do is then you begin the overthinking process. You begin to think over and over again what the colleague said, what you should have said, how you should have presented it. And you know what you can do is, in that particular case, write it out. Unless you are strong enough or willing to go to that colleague and say, you know, the other day you said XYZ, and it really bothered me. And I just want you to know that I didn't appreciate what you said. And I hope that this doesn't reoccur in the future, or however you want to do it. Most people don't want to confront in that manner. And in some cases, that's understandable. But if you have that kind of situation, I want to encourage you to write it out so that you get it out your head. Because if you don't get it out your head, you're going to repeat it over and over and over and over again. So overthinking drains your energy. It will drain your energy. And it prevents you from making decisions, and it prevents you from doing the thing that you need to do. So some of the tips that I recommend for you to do in regards to conquering overthinking is, one, you want to be aware of it. You want to replace those thoughts. Sometimes you can replace it with positive affirmations. If it's something negative that's going on in your head, replace it with positive affirmations, replace it with scripture. The second thing you want to do is you may want to consider taking a walk, do some type of exercise, ride a bicycle, go swimming, wash dishes, clean your house, fold clothes, wash clothes. There's so many things you can be doing in order to conquer overthinking, become creative, get it into the creativity side of things. As I mentioned earlier, I'm an overthinker. And because I'm an overthinker, I have to replace that sometimes. And that's why I do my creative side, because it helps give me that balance. The next thing you want to do is consider writing it out. Journaling has been proven to help do so many wonderful things. It helps you remember things better. It helps you with your mental anxiety. Write it out. I know, just another short story. When I'm making a decision as far as which job to take, I will write out the positives and the negatives. And of course, you may want something that is going to pay well, but it can be some negative things that's involved in that that may offset the two. So you want to write it out. Then you want to consider talking it out. Find a friend, find someone who has a listening ear, and someone who's willing to just listen to you. Sometimes you don't want the advice, you just want them to listen. So if you're going to do that, just make sure you share with them, hey, I just want to share something with you, and just give me about 5 minutes. I don't want any advice. I just want to just talk it out. Another thing you can do is record it. Consider recording yourself. That can be something you want to consider doing. Recording is a great tool that you can use, because you may come up with some ideas that's really fantastic to getting the task done. When you set goals, you want to make sure that you have a method of achieving it. If you want to become a writer, you want to make sure that you're able to produce that book. But if you're overthinking the process and not actually taking action, then more than likely this year, this time next year, you're going to be doing the same thing. So, and the last thing is to actually do the thing that you need to do. I write out a list of things that I need to do for the day, and then I tackle them one by one. So until next time, this is Dr. Deborah